Hey, what's going on? It's deciding to do 163. So I've been thinking about it, and I think that growing up in just society that we live in overall sets us up for failure. And what I mean by that is from grade school all the way up to high school and even into college, there's these unreasonable expectations that we as individuals have because we were taught that over and over. And the only thing that we are set up for is some type of educational success. We move on and we're told, if you go to high school and you graduate high school, then you go to college, you graduate college, then you'll get a job. And that's not always the case. And we're set up for failure in the fact that there's a lot of other things that have to go into it. The teachers don't always explain, the life lessons that they learn. Your parents don't always teach you the life lessons they learn. Society doesn't teach us the life lessons that they've learned. And then we have to go out there to the world and we learn these things by firsthand experience. When we fail, it's that first time that we've ever failed or someone's ever talked to us about failing. And for those individuals that don't know how to move on and don't know what resiliency is, they're going to be like, oh my God, like this isn't what everybody talked about. This isn't what my teachers talked about. This isn't what my parents talked about. Like, what do I do? Oh my goodness. And because of that, I think that we're set up for failure instead of being set up for success. I'm not saying that we should create another class or something that goes into school education, but life should be the lesson that, a lesson that we learn growing up, because there are individuals that grow up either with just horrible lessons that they've learned all their life, or just lived in a bubble and that they don't realize that there are other realities out there. And when those realities all of a sudden hit them in their face, and it's like, oh my goodness, the shock and awe isn't as bad as it would be if they understand that. And I think it's different because for some individuals, when we are growing up, we see some of these things and we learn from other individuals along the way. But as a society as a whole, I don't think that we do. And I think as a group, not individuals all the time, you might be reading this or listening to this and being like, well, I wasn't set up for failure. I'm not saying every single individual in the world was set up for failure and how they grow up and the life lessons that they've learned and how they're going to be able to go ahead and take, on certain things. What I say is, as a group, society, as a whole, I think that sometimes we're set up for failure. And the way to fix that is realistic expectations, and individuals understanding that they shouldn't expect things to just happen for them. They shouldn't think that things are just going to be all gravy and everything's going to be amazing once they do what society tells them to. Go to school, get good grades, get go to college, get good grades, get a degree. Then guess what? You get a good job. Like, these things equate, right? This plus this plus this equals. And that's not always the answer. High school, good grades plus college, good grades plus, getting a degree equals, sometimes it's not a job. So, you have to understand that, you have to realize that. And, I look at it like how I'm going to ensure that my children are set up for success in the ways that I wasn't necessarily set up is I'm not going to accept the things that some would accept. I'm not going to accept the same things that my parents allowed, for me. Like, if I gave them a crap excuse, oh, whatever. Okay, well, that's not always going to be the case, especially, with what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to raise my children, how I'm trying to, spread the message of hard work and dedication, decide and do, my philosophy on life, and, the mentality and the mindset overall. And I think if every single one of us does that in our own way, in our own, area of life, our area of expertise, we can push that to a broad spectrum of everybody understanding that we have to ensure that we set up our future generations, everyone, every single person in this world, we have to set them up for success. We got to stop setting them up for failure. We see it more and more every single day, individuals that they don't know how to react. They don't know how to deal with things. They don't understand how to deal with feelings, and they don't understand how to deal with failure. And why? Well, there's something else there. There's something else there that we're not doing, either within our families, within our organizations, our institutions, our society as a whole, to show them, hey, you know what? there's these things called feelings, and sometimes they hurt, and sometimes they're going to get hurt. And guess what? That's a part of life. And I'm not saying to be mean to people. I'm not saying that, certain things should be allowed. I'm saying we as individuals have to make sure that we are setting our future generations up for success and not setting them up for failure when it comes to life in general. So if we don't, the success is not going to be there. They are not going to be driven in the same ways that we were, or those individuals that came before us were. So it's really upon us to make sure that we're starting to do what we're supposed to be doing if we're not doing that already. And I'm not saying that you're not doing it. I'm just saying if you're not, you need to start setting everyone up for success. So set them up for success. And if you're being set up for failure, someone's being set up for failure, take some type of action on it. Do something more. So overall, hey, I just wanted to go ahead and hit that real quick. And until my next video, appreciate you watching. Decide New 163.